Hi everyone. In this video, I just want to demonstrate some of the tools and skills that we have that we can use in our Google Docs or our Google Spreadsheets. And I'm just going to show you some of the tools you need to complete the Intro to Spreadsheets gas cost investigation. So normally this is something I would like sign out the Chromebooks for the class and we could do in class, and I could go around and help you individually. Because it's a little more challenging with the remote learning, I'm just going to record this video and show you the skills and tools that you need to finish this investigation, and then hopefully I'll be able to meet with you individually or in groups and check in and see if you need help as we go. So you're going to have this open already on your screen hopefully, or you can watch me do this video first, see me demonstrate how to do these things, and then go to your spreadsheet and do it. Just depends on your setup. If you have a computer, you can maybe have both windows open at the same time. If you're on an iPad or something, just either jump back and forth or watch the video and then do the spreadsheet, whatever order you find best to do this in. So once you have this open, let me show you what we're looking at and what we can do with this. So this is gas costs. So this is data from January of 2011 up to April of 2011, and these are my actual numbers of gas that I got for my car at different gas stations. And just to get a feel for working with spreadsheets, I've asked a number of questions that are going to require different skills and functions in Google Sheets in order for you to figure out. So first of all, let's just see what we got here. We have three columns. We have the date, we have the volume, so the amount of gas that I pumped, and we have the dollars, so how much money was spent on all of those things. And let's take a look at the questions, and I'll just show you each skill that we need as we go. What is the total amount spent on gas from January 6th to April 30th? So from this first date to the last date, how much money was spent on gas? In order to figure that, we want to add up all these numbers, or in other words, we want to sum up all these numbers. So there is a function built into Google Sheets and also Excel. I use Excel quite a bit, so I might say Excel sometimes, but I mean Google Sheets. And that lets it carry out a command for us. So let's take a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the total here at the bottom. So I'm going to write the word total. And I want the total to appear right here. I want to add up all the money spent here, and I want the total to appear here in this box. So I choose the box where I want the total to appear. I double click and I type equals. Equals tells my spreadsheet I'm about to enter a command. I'm going to tell you to do something. And we can actually see up here it's already suggesting what it thinks we want to do. So I'm going to ignore the suggestions. I'm just going to go ahead and type the instructions that I want, but sometimes you might find that helpful. It might be telling you what you want to see already. Alright, so I want to add all these numbers up. I'm going to sum them, so I'm going to use the sum formula. So I'm going to type SUM, and that tells the spreadsheet what to do. I'm going to hold Shift and press the 9 key for an open bracket. So this is the command. The bracket says, now I'm going to tell you where to look to find the numbers to perform the operation on. And I want it to apply to all these numbers here. So I'm going to click on the first number. I'm going to hold down my mouse button and I'm going to drag all the way down until the last number I want to add is selected. Be careful. Don't select the box that you just clicked on. Don't drag it down too far. Only drag it as far as the last number you want to add. Or we can do it another way. So click equals SUM bracket. Click on the first number, hold down the Shift key, and click on the last number, and it will select the whole list. So either way is fine. And when we're done, we've selected all our numbers, press Shift and 0 for the end bracket, press Enter, and there we go. So we didn't need to get out our calculator, we didn't need to add these all up by hand. The spreadsheet does all the work for us. So what was the total amount spent on gas from January 6th to April 30th? Well, the answer is right there. I'm not going to fill these all in for you. I want you to do that on your copy. All right, what was the total amount or volume of gas used from January 6th to April 30th? We're going to use our sum formula again. So we're going to click where we want the number to appear. So honestly, I could click here. So like number 1, what was the total amount spent on gas? If I want the number to show up here, I can double click, equals SUM, because I want to add, bracket, select all the numbers, end bracket, enter, and there we go. Same with this second one here. I'm going to start you off, but I'm not going to give you the final answer. So we're going to click where we want the number to appear. I like to keep it all in my table just to keep things tidy, so I want it to appear down here first. So click equals, that tells the spreadsheet I'm about to give you a command. Sum is the formula or function that we're going to use. I'm going to select all the numbers that I want to sum or add, and then I'm going to hit close bracket, and then I'll press enter. I'm going to press escape because I want you to find that answer for yourself, but that is what we would do. All right, next question. What was the gas price, the dollars per liter each time? Create a new column using a formula. So what I want us to do here is we're going to find a unit rate, and we did talk about those before. So unit rate is when I figure out how much of something per something. So it's like, how far do we travel in 1 hour? That's our speed, that's our unit rate. How many dollars did we earn in 1 hour? That's a unit rate, dollars per 1 hour. Or gas price, what is our dollars per liter? How many dollars do we pay for 1 liter of gas? So in each case here, every time I got gas, there's no price listed, but notice that price is a rate of dollars over liters, or dollars divided by liters. And I know the dollars, and I know the liters every time. So that means that I can actually calculate the price, by taking the dollars and dividing by the number of liters. So let's do that. And it says make a new column, so that means I'm going to want all the answers to appear in here. So let's take a look. I want the first number to, actually I'm going to add a title first. So I'm going to add a title, I'm going to double click. I'm going to call this price, dollars per liter. Oops. All right, and now I want to find that first price. I want the first number to appear in this box right here, and we call the little boxes in here cells. So I'm going to double click. Equals, so that tells my spreadsheet I'm about to give you a command. And I want to take the top number, my money, my 51.45, so I click, and now the spreadsheet says, okay, I'm going to look in that box, and I'm going to grab that number. And then we're going to divide, because we said we had to take the dollars divided by the liters, so /, it's down on the right side of your keyboard, kind of by your shift key or your enter key or your arrow keys. And then I want to divide by the bottom number, which was the volume. So click, and then enter. So that means that every liter of gas cost $1.13. Let's try the next one. I want the next number to appear here, so I'm going to click on that cell. I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to give it a command. Which numbers do I use for the calculation? Click on the dollars. So take the dollars, click the / for divide, and then click on the liters button. Enter. All right, looking good. Let's do the next one. Next dollars per liter, so equals. Click on the dollars, divided by liters. The next one, and then notice when I hit enter, it automatically jumps down, so I can just start typing equals this number divided by that number. Enter. And you'll notice this is taking a little while. It's still a lot faster than getting out your calculator and doing it by hand, but wouldn't it be great if we only had to type it once? So let's try that. I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to keep my title, but I'm going to delete my numbers. Let's start fresh. The question said, what was the price? Dollars per liter each time. Create a new column using a formula. So let's start with my first number. Click. I'm going to press equals to give it a command. Total dollars, / divided by total liters. Enter. There's our first number. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on that number. And this number has a formula attached to it. And that tells the computer where to look, where to find the two numbers, and it says to divide them. So what I could do is I'm going to click on that first box that has my formula. On the bottom right, you're going to see that little blue box there. I'm going to click. You're going to get that little cross plus sign thing. So click your mouse on that little box, hold down, and drag all the way to the bottom. And there we go. It automatically filled in every box for us. So every number here, so this $1.19 per liter, it's automatically grabbing these two numbers here. It's doing 21.40 divided by 17.997. Down here at the bottom, $1.35. It's taking that number beside it, dividing by that number, so it automatically updates all the way down. I also like to have my tables look really tidy, so I'm going to add a border here. I'm just going to select everywhere I'm working, and if you click this little button here that looks like a window, it says Borders. I like to have my borders, and I like all my numbers to be centered. So I like to use my little button here, horizontal align, click the middle, and vertical align, click the middle. You don't have to do that. I just like my spreadsheets to be tidy. So we've answered our first question. I kind of showed you how to answer the second question. The third one, I just showed you how to do it. Let's try the fourth one. The fourth one says sort the data by volume, spent, and then the date. And those are our column titles here: date, volume, and spent. So let's practice. So in order to sort the data, first I need to select it. So I'm just going to select my whole table. Actually, don't include the total. Just include the numbers we're going to change in the titles. So I'm going to click here on my bottom right number. I'm going to hold the mouse down, and I'm going to select. So you can see the blue. I've selected everything, including the titles. Now, how am I going to sort? Well, so select all your data. Go to Data, go to Sort Range, and data has header row. In other words, does your table have a title? And yes, we have titles because we have date, volume, whatever. So click, and it automatically imports that information here. So now I can choose to sort by date. It's already sorted by date. I can choose to sort by volume, by the amount of gas I bought. So click on the checkbox, sort by whatever we're practicing sorting by. In this case, we're sorting by volume. So click volume and press sort. And there we go. Everything has been sorted. So our titles are still in place. Our totals are still in place. But all the numbers in between got resorted. And notice it's sorted by volume now. We have our smallest amount or volume of gas here, 17.997 liters. And as we go up the list, it gets bigger. So it's in numerical order. So like 17.99, 23, 27, 28, 37, all the way up to 45. All right, let's sort this a different way. So I'm going to click on my bottom number and select, or you can click on the top on date and drag down. It doesn't really matter. You're just starting in one corner and dragging across to the opposite corner. We're going to go to data at the top. We're going to go to sort range. Remember to tell it that we have titles. And now I want to sort by spent. So I'm going to click the spent button and sort. And now it's sorted by price. So the dates are all scrambled. The volumes are all scrambled, but the amount spent increases: 21, 40, 27, 34, 39, 47, 50, 51, 85. So it's all there. And let's put it back the way it was at the beginning. So I'm going to select all my numbers and my titles. Don't select your total row, just leave it alone. So I'm going to select all my numbers and my titles, data, sort range. Click that checkbox there so that it knows that the first row is just titles, and I'm going to sort by date again, just like how I started. So that's how to use the sort tool. That's how to rearrange your data by whatever category you want. All right, now the question asks us, what was the most expensive fill up? Well, I don't want to read 20 numbers every time to check. So what we can do is we can use our sort function. So let's sort by price. Or, sorry, not by price. Let's sort by how much money we spent. So what was the most expensive? What was the biggest number spent? So I'm going to select my data, sort range, sort by price, and click sort. All right, and we can see down here, sorry, I clicked the wrong button again. Let's try that again. Select, data, sort, and we're sorting by how much money we spent. There we go. And now I can go down my column and I can see the most money I spent was, once again, I don't want to give you the answer directly, but it's right here. So you can look at the bottom of the list, take that biggest number, and type it in here. There's another way we can find this though. So I'm going to put my table back the way it was. Data, sort range, has header rows, sort by date. And there is a built-in function that can also find this for us. So let's take a look. And that's going to be the maximum function. You don't need to type the word here. I just like to keep my table nice and tidy. And then I also like to have, like I said, the borders and everything. So I'll just keep doing this because that's what I do when I'm normally working on spreadsheets. And if you forget, it'll show you how to access these buttons to add the borders and make everything centered and stuff. All right, so I'm going to look at my dollars spent. and I want to find the maximum number, so the biggest number. So I'm going to use another function that's built into our spreadsheet. So I'm finding the most expensive fill-up, the most amount spent. So under the spent column, I've called this maximum. I'm going to click. Equals says I'm going to give you a command, spreadsheet, and I want to find the biggest number. So I'm going to use the function max, and max is going to find the biggest number. Open bracket. That says, give me the numbers. Give me the numbers so I can work on them. What are the numbers? They're going to be all these numbers here. So click on the first number or the last number, drag all the way up and select all our numbers here that we want it to look at. Shift and 0 for close bracket, enter, and there we go. So when we sorted, we saw that this one right here actually was the biggest number, the most we spent, and now we can see that value here. This is the most amount of money spent. And we could do that for every column if we wanted to, but we're only doing it for the amount spent this time. What was the least amount of volume of gas pumped? Once again, there's two ways to find this. Let's practice using our sort function again. So I'm going to select everything and the title, data, sort range, and we're going to sort by the volume, how much gas we pumped. And it said, what was the least amount? Well, it's in order from least to greatest now. So we can look up here and get our least number. Or if I hadn't changed it, I'm just going to press this arrow up here. I'm going to undo. So I'm going to put it back the way it was, sorted by date. And I want to find the minimum amount of gas pumped. So I'm going to label my table minimum. And like I said, you don't have to do this, but I like everything to be nice and tidy on my spreadsheet tables. All right, and we want minimum amount of gas, minimum volume. So I'm going to put this under the volume, and I want the number to appear here. So I click to select the cell, equals. I'm going to use the min function. So min stands for minimum. It's going to find the smallest number out of all the numbers we choose. So equals min, open bracket, and then I'm going to select all my prices here. These are the numbers I want you to look at and find the smallest one. And then I do my end bracket, shift 0, press enter, and there we go. We have the least amount of gas, sorry, the least amount that was pumped. That's the smallest amount of gas I put in my tank. Our last two questions ask us about how to find average. Once again, our spreadsheet has a function for that. So normally when we find an average, we gotta like add all the numbers up and then divide by the number of numbers, and it takes like 5 minutes to put all these in your calculator. We don't need to worry about that. The spreadsheet will do it for us. So I'm going to add one last row to my spreadsheet. I'm going to make it nice and tidy right away. You don't have to do this. I just like it. We're going to call this average. And we're going to find the average amount spent on gas. So that's our spent column. So that number is going to be here. So just like anytime we use a formula, here's the process. Click on the cell where you want the number to appear. Hit equals, and that tells the spreadsheet you're going to give it a command. The function we're going to use is average. So find the average of the numbers I'm going to give you. Open bracket. I'm going to tell you which numbers to look at now. Select all those numbers with the mouse. End bracket, enter, and there we go. That's our average amount of money spent on gas. And finally, our average amount, last one, average volume of gas pumped. So let's take a look at our volume. So I'm going to click where I want the number to appear, equals. To give it a command, I want to find the average. So I'm going to use the average function. Shift 9 for open bracket. Select all those numbers you want it to look at. Close bracket, enter, and there we go. And one thing you'll notice about this number, it has a lot of decimal places. I think we should tell it to round because we don't need that many decimals. So what you can do, this is another feature of spreadsheets, is you can click on the number and you can click these little buttons here to give more decimal places or to give less. And in this case, 2 is usually a good amount, so I'm going to keep clicking the button until there's only 2 decimal places left. Alright, and one final thing I want to show you. When you're looking at this and you see all these prices, sometimes it might calculate it and there's no dollar sign there. So you might just see something like this. Let me see if I can change this quickly. Format, number, plain text. All right, so we just have these like ugly decimals, and you're like, but I want dollars. And you don't want to take time to round, and you don't want to have to retype with dollar signs and everything. So what we can do is we can format this automatically. So let's take a look. So let's say I have a bunch of numbers, and I want them to be in dollars. Select all those numbers, and just click the little dollar button right here at the top. So it says Format as Currency, one click. Boom, everything is in dollar form. It did the rounding, it's got decimals, it's got the dollar sign, it's good to go. So I would like you to finish this investigation on your own. Make sure you have all the answers filled in, and then I'm sure if you're watching this while we're in class, we'll then have a chance to look at the answers together and talk about any questions you may have. So this was your crash course introduction to spreadsheets, just to show you some of the tools available to you. So we looked at the sort tool, we looked at different functions, so we can give a command to the spreadsheet, and we saw that we can have it automatically calculate things like totals, maximum or biggest number, minimum or smallest number, or the average number. And if you have any questions while you're working through this, please, if we're in class right now, just pop into the Google Meet and ask me. Or if you're doing this at home at a different time, just shoot me an email and I can help you out as well. All right, I hope that was helpful. Thanks, everyone.